This is my 2022 Acura MDX Type-S, our family SUV. Now, most family SUVs tend to stay stock, and that makes sense. They're supposed to be practical, they're supposed to be functional, and also they're supposed to be comfortable. But I believe that there's actually a good middle ground between leaving it completely untouched and going full build. So let's face it, if you own one of these, you probably don't have the time or the hips or the back to be working on this constantly, and you don't want to make it more uncomfortable for your family because that's your daily driver. So in this video, I'm taking my MDX and we're going to add some OEM plus subtle touches to this to make it my own. So if you're looking at your daily driver, whether it's an MDX or not, because this can apply to other vehicles, and you're thinking maybe this could use a little bit more presence or maybe a little bit more of your touch, that's exactly what I started doing with my MDX. And today we're going to cover all the small, subtle OEM plus kind of things that I've done. Hopefully it'll give you ideas to customize your vehicle a little bit too, without ruining any practicality or functionality. So let's get started.
Chrome emblems, for the most part, ruin most modern cars for me. I don't mind a little accenting of silver here and there, but badges are a simple way to give your car a, oh look, he must mod his car look. I usually find cheap knockoffs for badges, or I plastic dip them, but this time I searched online and ordered the OEM black badges from Honda. It's also easy to screw up Honda paint, so make sure you're very careful with the heat you're applying. I used a heat gun, but you can also use a hairdryer. And make sure you apply the heat evenly, and use fishing line to carefully loosen the adhesive, which you can pick up at Walmart. I recommend pulling the badge off evenly versus just from a corner, as you can scratch the paint around it in case you do pull too hard on one side. Overall, very happy with the way these look. Next up was sprucing up the front a little bit. I love hints of yellow on fog lights or on headlights of cars. You see it on a lot of Euro and JDM influenced cars. I had some yellow tint laying around, so I used that to yellow out the fog lights. I then found an Etsy seller selling a headlight overlay that covered the DRLs. I always thought that it was a bit tacky to have an overlay on part of the front headlight, but since I'm not skilled enough to rip this open and figure out how to change the LEDs to yellow, this works. Such a subtle thing that really adds a lot to the front end. To install it, just follow the basic instructions. You clean, you wet, you apply, you smooth out, you clean up the edges, and then you dry. The wetting is important as it will help you align everything over and over if needed. I tucked the excess under the housing and it left looking very, very clean. Next up, I didn't buy a Type-S to not hear the turbo, so it's time to attack the engine bay a little. And what's cooler than driving a family SUV that makes some cool turbo noises? I decided to order the HPS Intake. I'm sure there's some good performance gains, but I don't really notice it. All I wanted it was for the noise. Install was pretty straightforward. There's multiple videos of people installing these on the TLX Type-S and the MDX Type-S, so check those out. Once done, I didn't have a check engine light or anything, and man, it sounds good. It's just subtle enough to not be annoying, but it's loud enough to know that something's going on. It's probably my favorite mod so far. Those sounds are intoxicating, and even my wife loves them. Let's check them out.
We are done with the HPS intake install on the MDX Type-S. This is a whole new housing and the filter's in there. Everything's connected, everything's good to go. So we're going to turn this on and hopefully it makes a decent difference in sound. So we're going to do a test with the inside noise with the cover off. So let's try that. So we're now driving with the cover off of the intake. So this is in Sport Plus.
Next, I was just trying to update some items in the interior. I hate carpeted mats, and I never like the coverage of the OEM all-weather mats that usually come with cars. I like full coverage mats, and this time I opted for Amazon brand ones. I took a gamble, and these are awesome. They fit perfect, they look great, there's no smells, there's just good protection, and it covers a lot of the inside. Check them out. Next up is something I'm a huge advocate for and I've made multiple videos about, and that's dash cams. I've been a pretty big loyalist for FitCam, as I'm also an affiliate, so you can get a discount, but also I just like them because they're designed specifically for each vehicle to make it look OEM, and they're completely out of your way. The quality of the camera is good, the app is good, it hides well, and I also added the rear camera. I did a whole install video on this, so check it out. Protect yourself during accidents and hit and runs. Get these before you end up in a situation where you wish you had a dash cam. And next we move on to some bigger aesthetic mods. The Type-S comes with air suspension. Although the maintenance and long-term cost is likely a little scary, it makes lowering the vehicle super easy. And you can use lowering links to adjust the height. There's numerous companies making links out there, but I opted for a guy on eBay who makes these custom. These basically trick the height sensors into thinking that they're right setting, but based on how short or longer they're set to against the OEM ones, it adjusts the height accordingly. It's a super easy install that takes a few minutes, and some adjustments.
So what you'll really need is a 10 wrench, another 10 wrench if you have two, and then I just have a 10 on an extension. Let's get the old ones off. All right, we are in the front. This is the end link, or sorry, the lowering link, and this is the one in the front right next to the tire. You basically undo this nut on the other side, and then you replace it with this, and that should be it. These are designed like end links, where you actually need to stick a 10 under there, this end of the wrench, and you put it right there, and then you undo that nut. So that's the OEM one. That is this one, basically almost maxed out. We have a couple threads showing, but for video purposes and to make sure that I'm starting off at a decent spot, we're gonna go up to about 5 threads showing. Maybe one more turn right there. And there's not a lot of torque on these because they're literally just designed to help with the sensor, so you don't need to over torque these or anything. All right, so that one is out, and I just gotta take the top one out. And then with the other one, measure it out about the same as my other side.
We had 5 threads on the other side.
Yeah, about 5 threads showing. And then one end on the top goes in from the back. These are just height sensors. So.
The stock ones, the only reason it's just stock ones had the washer in the inside. What do you want?
So we just tighten it, basically hand tight. Okay, so this is the front one installed. And I tightened everything, so you do need to stick on these aftermarket ones that I was using. You stick a 9mm behind the nut on the other side, and then you tighten it with a 10mm. So a 9 goes behind it to hold everything in place, and the 10 tightens the nut. So the rear is the opposite of the front. The longer you make this, the lower the rear drops in the car. So I actually rotated these open a little bit more than the black sleeve, just so I can get the drop that I wanted. It just took a little bit of adjustment back and forth, so I would unscrew it, adjust the length of the link, and then put the screw back on, turn the car on, drive for a sec, and basically got it to where now it's level. These ones are fairly easy to get to. The end link is in the way a little bit, but it's not hard. Not a crazy drop, but just good enough to kind of close the gap on this. So now let's check out the rear. This is what the rear looks like. So if I take a step back, this looks pretty evenly lowered. I think with the right wheel fitment, this will look really solid.
And at the lowest setting, the ride is a little bit bouncier, but it's not terrible. Well, that wraps up mod phase 1. I have an incoming lip and a splitter kit, which I think will change the look on the outside. Stay tuned to see what phase 2 brings.
This is a lot to unpack, so I'm gonna snap, and all of these are gonna be on the table unpacked, so let's go.
Is that good? Was that a good transition? It was.
Clean this a little bit. Goes like this. It looks like I may have received the wrong spats. You mount it, and while you're holding it, that gap. I think this is a little off too, it's all crooked. Okay, so now we're gonna do the front lip. So the lip is put together. I was wrong. All right, so I am done. My hands hurt.
I hope you enjoyed the progress of this family SUV, and it helps you choose some of the things you can do to your daily or family car. Like, subscribe, and see you next time.